I remember I was driving to my friend's place one day, and I noticed in the rearview mirror there was a cop behind me trailing. They didn't have any lights on or sirens, so I figured I was okay. So I got to my friend's place, parked my vehicle, got out, and immediately I heard, "Put your hands up." I turned around, I saw a cop with his weapon drawn, and did exactly as he said. Another patrol car came, and I was put in cuffs, but left by my car. They discussed stuff amongst each other, and then another officer came over, took off my cuffs, without a word or explanation, didn't say a thing.
1 week after I got my driver's license at 16 years old, I was pulled over in Detroit suburbs for allegedly going 5 miles over the speed limit. 5 miles. The officer asked me what I was doing this side of the town. I said I was headed to work. He asked where. I said Wendy's. He told me there's McDonald's and Wendy's in the ghetto. Why would I be working out here? I said it was because I made $6.25 an hour over here. Minimum wage in the city was $5.15. He told me I better not be up to any trouble. And he wrote me a ticket for going 5 miles over the limit. And he followed me all the way to Wendy's to make sure that I was actually telling the truth.
You know, as a young kid in college, I had a number of different jobs just trying to get by, work my way through school. One, I would pass out flyers as a part of a nightlife promotions company on the streets, often late at night. This particular downtown area, there would be a corner where you could pass out flyers. There'd be a corner where you couldn't pass out flyers. I'd be on the corner where you could pass on flyers. One night, a cop approached me on that corner where you could pass out flyers, had me drop my box of flyers on the ground, and had me face up against a wall and detain me for a good while. Granted, there were people around me who, didn't look exactly like me, doing the same exact thing on that corner where you could pass out flyers, and then in plain sight where you couldn't pass out flyers, yet I was the one singled out.
Yeah, it was February this year, and I parked my car kind of halfway between where I dropped my daughter off to go to karate class in this little grocery store. And I got out of the car and walked to the grocery store and came back and sat in there. And I only had like 10 minutes to kind of wait before karate class was over. Police officer came by and knocked on the car window, and he asked me if this was my car, and I was like, yes. And he was like, are you sure this is your car? And I was like, I'm sure. And he said, well, the people inside that daycare center over there called the police saying that they think you were stealing this car. It was my car.
The last time I got pulled over, it was for failure to yield. I was with a Vietnamese friend, one of my best friends actually. We both got asked to step out of the car. He proceeded to search me to see if I had any drugs or weapons, while my friend had to sit on the curb and watch.
Basically, I was playing tennis with another friend of mine who's also African American my sophomore year of college, behind a high school that was not far from my girlfriend's house in a neighboring city. And we were pulled over from playing tennis after the court lights had gone off. The long and short of it was there were several other people on the court. They were not of the same skin complexion or hue. Basically, they were white, we were black, and they were all able to drive off the court and go about their way. However, a police car followed us to a local shopping center parking lot and held us there for 30 minutes. They asked for our license, our registration, questioned why were we away from our home city, which was just a neighboring town over in a pretty normal suburban area. And I remember distinctly, we were dressed in pastel and white sweatsuits, which was the look for tennis players back in our time. So what nefarious things we could have been doing dressed up in fluorescent green, pink, white, and yellow, I have no idea. But we were given stiff warnings, and my friend went to reach back to show him we were playing tennis with the rackets on the back seat, and he froze. I remember it pausing. Somehow we both knew that any move could lead to a very, very eventful night.
I remember when I was 15 years old, simply because I was black and looked back at a police car with big eyes, I was quote unquote appearing to be nervous and was subsequently pulled over, removed from the vehicle, searched on my person, and subsequently the entire car was searched. And ultimately they found nothing.